This is the Dallas Cowboys Report. I am your host, Tom Downey, answering all of your questions coming in live on Thursday from the Cowboys Report live audience. A super chat to begin from Jarrett. Why can't we trade Zeke for a good safety or corner? I think we can get something that we need. Who wants Zeke? I don't think anyone does. No one wants to pay a running back coming off a knee injury, a couple down years in a row, with a lot of mileage, and costs you upwards of $12 million. That's not an appealing contract or player in today's market in the NFL. I just don't think there would be a lot of interest in Zeke. So if you can get a good safety or corner, let's ride. I don't think teams want to do that. Maybe you get lucky. Maybe you get a Bill O'Brien situation. I would not bank on that in any capacity. Brian with another Zeke question. Trade Zeke for Saquon Barkley. All right. I would probably do it because it gets me out of the Zeke contract, but I don't think the Giants would do it. That actually is very not costed friendly for them from that perspective. Elliott's cap hit on this current roster is 18.22. Barkley's is less than half of that. It's 7.22. Those are for the Giants. It changes as you get traded. Dallas eats a lot more money than Saquon does. On the field, based on last year and even the past couple of years, Zeke's been better. Saquon cannot stay healthy, and his production was less than that of Devontae Booker, who the Giants just cut at running back. So I think Zeke is a better player right now because of all the issues that Saquon Barkley has had. However, from a value perspective, factoring in the age and the injuries and all that, I think Saquon goes for like a fourth-round pick. I don't know if a team would give you much of anything for Ezikel Elliott. So I think from a better player standpoint, actually Zeke Elliott at the current moment. From a trade value standpoint, it's definitely Saquon Barkley. If you ran the Cowboys and the Giants said we do this trade, who would you want? Type EE for Ezikel Elliott, SB for Saquon Barkley. This is the pinned comment on today's video, so if the ad break comes, take advantage of it. Head down there and pick a player. Super chat from Mr. Lubo. I always love your profile picture. It looks awesome. Do you think Diggs becomes a lockdown corner next year? I think Diggs will allow fewer yards next year. I also think his interceptions will go down as well. His play style, which I don't want to tweak, is more indicative of Marcus Peters than, your typical lockdown like a Stephon Gilmore or a Darrelle Reeves. Let's go with that one, the super big one there. He's going to allow plays. He's going to make a lot of plays. That's the give and take, and you're fine with that. He is an awesome corner. Don't let the nerds at PFF and their wrong numbers tell you otherwise. He's an awesome football player. Another super chat from my burner account. Where would you rank our front office among the league? This is a good question. In terms of the draft side of it, actually pretty high. They do a pretty good job of drafting. They got some good scouts. I like Will McClay. They make some good calls. From a free agency standpoint, near the bottom. That makes things a little bit tricky. That's not a great impact in terms of the balancing. I wish they were more aggressive in free agency. Overall, despite the lack of Super Bowl titles, they've consistently been a playoff contender or in the postseason the past, 10-ish years. They're in the top half at minimum. There are just things we all want them to be better about. From Eddie Joe, I don't care much about defensive tackle 40-yard speed. Is there a website which lists the 10-yard split times? I would all encourage you guys. You can hit me up on Twitter. I'll put out like the graphics indicating of it at What Going Downey. At MathBomb has nice little layouts of the 10-yard splits and what that means relative to other positions. So hit me up on Twitter, Eddie. I'll send you all the links that you need right there, and I'll be putting out a lot of those myself here with the Combine. I will make note, though, historically, 40-yard dash time is actually a decent indicator of success at defensive tackle. There is a correlation. Not guaranteed, of course, but compared to others, it's actually fairly decent. What you might not know, folks, is that the Cowboys Report is now on Rumble, another video platform with producer Chugs dancing behind the scenes there. Help us out by supporting us on Rumble. It's rumble.com/CowboysTV. It's videos, just like we're doing over here. Kind of like how we're on Facebook as well. We're on Rumble. too. So go follow us, rumble.com/CowboysTV. From Roy Williams, the safety. I'm pissed the Cowboys didn't talk to Kenyon Green. The Cowboys did not meet with Green at the Combine. That is not necessarily a sign they are not going to draft him. They didn't talk to Parsons at the Combine. Didn't talk to CeeDee Lamb. Well, not Parsons because there was no Combine. They didn't meet with Parsons, pre-draft because they couldn't meet with him pre-draft beyond Zoom. It is a bit weird. I am surprised by that. I do know that they like Kenyon Green. So I know you're disappointed. I get that. Doesn't mean he's not in play. It's just a bit of a note to make. We'll know more. If Kenyon Green's not one of their 30 visits, that's a good sign he's not in the cards. From Jay Elam, do you think we will get Randy Gregory re-signed? A super chat, by the way. If I had to guess, my answer is yes. I do think Randy Gregory returns to the Cowboys in some capacity next year. Is it with DeMarcus Lawrence and Amari Cooper? I'm not so sure on that one. I think, will hit the open market. We will see what the market looks like for him. And then I think he is willing to take a bit of a team-friendly deal from that standpoint. From Gerald May, trade for Andy Isabella. I actually got DM'd this too. I understand that it's a new player on the trade block. Everyone has interest. Former second-round pick. He's fast. I get it. He's bad. In 3 years, this is his stat line. 31 catches, 426 yards, 3 scores. I loved Isabella coming out of UMass. But I'm not afraid to say I was wrong. And I was wrong on Isabella. Despite having a slot receiver build, he's not played in the slot. I don't think the Cardinals trust him to do so. And despite his speed, he has not become a vertical threat. He has issues tracking the football. Now, maybe that gets changed. But for reference here, Isabella would have been like wide receiver 6 on this team. Frankly, I think there's a very good chance he gets cut or gets dealt for a 7th-round pick swap. So if it's super cheap, sure, I'm on board with that. Beyond that, no. So name a player who you guys want to trade for. I'm sure you've got names. Drop them for me in the comment section right now. From Gordo Gaming, if we don't re-sign Gallup or Wilson, any chance they draft John Metchie in the 2nd round? I think that's actually a good name in round 2. I don't know if he gets there. Metchie was the guy Bama went to and they needed a 3rd-down pickup. He was their reliable player. Nick Saban loves him, which he doesn't always love players like that. If Gallup or Wilson are gone and you're looking for a new receiver 3, I do think Metchie makes a lot of sense for you if he's there in round 2. From Vince, which wide receiver would you rather have on a rookie contract than Cooper on his $20+ million deal? I think in general, there will probably be one receiver who ends up being better than Amari Cooper. And there will probably be several who end up being worse than Amari Cooper. I would take this approach. You're taking a lot of risk with a player that you know can work well with Dak, that you know is a great football player. Maybe get him the damn football, restructure his deal, and now it's not a $20 million per year deal. You also screwed up by dragging your feet and not giving him a longer term or a better deal before you hit free agency. So I would take Cooper. If I got to pick one, the guy that makes the most sense for me is I like all of them. I would feel most comfortable with his scheme fit. If you want to replace Cooper as a route runner, maybe Chris Olave makes sense. He's not my number 1 guy. He's not even my number 2. But that's a name I think could be a good scheme fit for what Dallas apparently wants to do. But I would simply keep Amari Cooper. If you guys want the latest draft news and rumors and free agency and trades and all of it, hit that big red button and subscribe. It is Draft SZN here at Chat Sports and on the Cowboys Report. So if you haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe on YouTube. And, of course, we're on Rumble now as well. Got videos going up on both. Rumble.com/CowboysTV. If you're watching on Rumble for the first time, welcome in. Thanks for watching the show. From Thexan Third, does Tyler Linderbaum's stock go down with no combine due to injury? I don't think so. I think he is where he's been in terms of he's got a very wide range. He is a light prospect. He was 290-ish at Iowa. Now, maybe he had some water weight, but we knew he was a great athlete. We didn't need the combine to see, yes, awesome athlete. That is known, that is on tape. Him not going to the combine for injury or for not working out doesn't really impact his stock, I don't think. Now, if he can't go at the pro day, maybe you get some concern there, but it's a minor injury. I don't think his stock drops, but his stock was already in potential Cowboys draft range. Zach, DC for life. If we do trade Cooper, I would look to trade him for a pick to land Garrett Wilson or another receiver round 1. And that's actually my receiver 1, so I wouldn't hate Garrett Wilson. I mean, he kind of reminds me a bit of CeeDee Lamb, by the way. If you do trade Cooper, you got to spend a premium pick or sign somebody because you don't want to enter the year with Ayoko? Under contract right now is your second receiver. Jay Elam, play Pollard, use Zeke to block. I don't want to give Pollard every single rep. I think that's not a good use of his skills, but I would make Pollard my lead back. You can still give Zeke the ball plenty, but you can't expect Zeke to be the workload guy when he hasn't been able to do it in several years. The wear and tear, I think, on his body is beginning to add up. Dodger Boy 28, we should go get JuJu. He'll be available. Now, if his contract dips after a down year, JuJu for 1 year, $5 million? I'm actually open to that idea. You could, in theory, if you're going to move on from Amari Cooper, save money, and then allow yourself to look into the Schultz and JuJu situation as opposed to just Cooper, for example. Elijah Williams, go get Cowboys legend Rico Gathers. I remember when Rico was guaranteed to be the next tight end, and I was like, I don't know, guys. And I was a Rico hater. And now he is completely out of the NFL, which shouldn't surprise that many people in the end. King Shadow 24, Jelani Wood just ran a 4.61 as a 6'7", 250-pound tight end at the combine. Future Cowboy, potentially. I think he's a day 3 prospect. I know that Greg Dulcich ran a 4.6 something as well. Woods is a very intriguing prospect. It's a deep tight end group on day 2, day 3. He fits that area as well. All right, what is your confidence level in the Dallas Cowboys right now? Scale it for me, 1 to 10. How are you feeling about the Cowboys beyond this year? Let me know in the comments right now.